Hello and welcome to GPTV on Tuesday the 11th of September. My name's Phillip Kingston.
And I'm Gary Pearce.
And Gary, off camera we were just recounting the fact that it's September 11.
9/11 as it's known, Phil.
17 years since that terrible time.
The world changed.
It did.
Where were you?
It
Do you
did.
know where you were?
Yeah, I was at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It happened at night time here,
yeah.
And I remember where I was. It's not really very savoury to say. Well, I was at the casino, and somebody said, and the croupier said, "Did you hear about the towers that fell down?" I didn't even know what you're talking about.
So I remember waking up and my father ringing, saying, "Have you seen the news? Have you seen the news?" And look, GPTV is known for its light entertainment. And sorry, viewers, to start off with a reflection, but we can't go without acknowledging the moment.
Absolutely right.
And I've got to tell you, there's not a moment when they show that footage up where I don't look at it incredulous, it is beyond comprehension.
One of the most horrific things that have happened in our time, Phil.
Yep.
And I remember going home watching it all night. Well, I was going to go to sleep till 3 or 4 anyway, but it was unbelievable. It was crazy stuff.
Anyway, let's reframe, shall we? Because we're well into spring.
Hey. I want to say something right here, right now. I think you're dropping the dress code of GPTV. I think you're actually taking to a very, very unprofessional, unflattering, and quite frankly, kind of down market look there.
Do you know what, Gary? I must say I'm somewhat shocked by your conservatism.
Yes.
I must say, as I arrived here in my blue jeans, my brown riding boots,
I thought you were going to talk about your shiny BMW, lease BMW,
and my Brokeback Mountain belt that I'm wearing.
Yes.
That I'm wearing. I got out of the car and looked at you in your navies, and I thought, geez, you've really kind of the years have gone past you, and you didn't move on, really, did you?
Well, I think I've remained at a professional level in you. I don't know. We've just gone down market. I'm very disappointed, Phil.
Yes, viewers, there is a whole story for the reason that I'm dressed so casually, but we'll go into it another time. Gary, I've had a lot of feedback since we pushed it on GPTV last week about me being the
pin-up boy.
Being the pin-up boy. To all the female viewers that really
the screaming fans
chose to send in certain items to me during the week.
Been throwing things at auctions at you, haven't they, this weekend?
To thank you all for
we got back from the Gold Coast, the conference. It was like the Beatles, weren't they? There were fences up, screaming women crying at the side of you.
And just to recap, viewers, if you did want an autographed copy of that Domain article, I've only got 3,000 copies left.
Exactly right. And he was delivered 3,000, so he hasn't got rid of any yet. But there was the Queensland edition last week, and Phillip,
yes, we had some great feedback.
People, if someone's just tuned in, this is the first time, you've probably gone out of it already, but if you watch every week, you would see last week we did give Queensland and Queenslanders a bit of a bucketing on the show, and I've got to say that, you know, one particular Queenslander, we won't mention his name, Stephen. We're very discreet, aren't we? Has sent an email. It was the most wonderful email, and of course, you know, then went on to say that his family owned the QT, which we actually presume is not a joke. Yeah, we don't know. And they said it stands for not quite terrible, but quirky towers, as they refer to it. But he then said that, you know, he's been working hard, moving as a Queenslander to Victoria, and he's now no longer ending sentences with the word "but," which is a Queenslander thing. He's no longer raising his tone at the end of each sentence, which is another thing.
I thought that was a bit more of a New Zealand thing.
No, I think, look, the further up you go in Australia, the more the voices go higher.
Well,
when it's up to
if you think about where does every New Zealander that essentially gets either kicked out of the country or wants to go on the dole in Australia go to? Pretty much Queensland.
Then he even talked about he's no longer dragging his knuckles along the ground, which I thought was probably even a bit of a boot in to Queenslanders from a Queenslander. And then the dropping of numerous words from the day-to-day vocabulary, such as crikey, dunny, thongs and durries. What a durry is?
I don't know what a durry is.
I don't know what a durry is. That's a Queensland.
He's clearly been out of Queensland for quite some time. I never heard the word durry once.
But it must be, maybe it was something from the 60s or something like that. Anyway, Phil,
I think
and he's now saying that he's going to set up a rival company in the eastern and Bayside suburbs
to have a crack at us. Well, good luck to you,
with some
Stephen.
other ex-Queenslanders to give us a run for their money, and he said we've been warned. So
always nice to have the feedback, viewers, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. We do appreciate you writing in. And Stephen, look, I've got to tell you personally, we've always thought you and your family are wonderful, wonderful people.
Exactly right.
Even if you have become a slum landlord owning that building.
He doesn't like that at all. Shall we move on? Talk about the market. What happened?
Well, Gary, the weekend was not so hotsy-totsy.
It wasn't hotsy-totsy, but it wasn't so bad either. You know, it was over 60%.
You just will not allow one negative comment about our results.
Au contraire, my very, very upbeat friend. I'm probably the one you're the one that sort of paints it.
Gary, we didn't have a great weekend. Let's just face it. Let's just face it, because we didn't smash the weekends. We did we?
Yeah, we did.
I think the industry was at 60%.
Yeah,
let's put up the towers.
We were 61%. Put those towers up. Look at that.
Let's face it, a win is a win.
Hey, talking about wins, how about the mighty Demons get on the bandwagon? How's the footiest time
I was there. Actually,
did you go?
I was there on Friday.
Were you emotional?
Well, was I emotional?
Yeah.
I suppose I was, from the point of view that I was there with my two boys.
Yeah.
They've never
What about your dad?
No, he wasn't up to it.
What about your
brother-in-law? And the
brother-in-law?
reason my dad...
What about your brother-in-law?
You know, my
He's
brother-in-law, he is a maniac. And the reason that I didn't talk about him is I just didn't want to acknowledge his existence. But look, you know, my poor long-suffering sister being married to him. David, nice to see you in Sydney. And stay there. Yeah, Don't come down for this week's final.
What about you? Yeah, you've got the Sydney...
But I want to say, shout out to my dear father who watched it on the television. Why wasn't my father there? Ask me the question.
Oh, I forgot what it is really. Why wasn't your father there?
So why wasn't my father there? Yeah. My dear father wasn't there because the MCC, who would have to be the most hopeless organisation on the entire planet. I mean, if you think about the MCC,
that's a big call.
We'll
have to get the solicitors to check this one too.
They have got Australia's most iconic asset. Yeah. They've had the MCC. I don't know how long the MCG's been there, but they've been looking after it for a long time. So how do they distribute tickets to the members? By saying to the members, get there at 3 o'clock, form a queue, we'll open the gates at 5, and then you can run for your seats. So, I kid you not.
But hasn't your father got a seat?
No, wait for this. So we get there at 3 o'clock, we stand for 2 hours in a queue. There were at least 15,000 people in the queue. We stand there till 5 o'clock. They open the gates, everybody has to rush then through the turnstiles to get a seat. It is the worst organisation. It is the worst run place. So here we are now. We've finally got our seats at 5:15. The whole members is in pandemonium as people chase and push over other members for their seats. We look across to the other side of the ground where the AFL have their seats. There's not a person. There is not a person. Why? Because somehow 2/3 of the MCC manages to book seats, but the MCC, you've got to bolt for it. You are the most hopeless organisation. In fact, I reckon the MCC is run by Queenslanders.
I reckon the QT and MCC the same. There's one head company.
Same organisation.
That is just looking after
same
all
organisations. It's Dumb and Dumber. Well. It was. And I believe we've got to go through the whole thing again this Friday.
And what I still don't understand how this is relevant to your father not going. How can
well, because my father,
did he stand the queue?
My father, who's not that well at the moment,
and he's not that young.
Not so he says, look, I can't do this. 3 o'clock, stand in the queue for 2 hours, and then sit.
So no one has a seat.
No one has a seat. No one. You are incompetent.
Yeah, well, there you go. I don't think you'll have a seat next game either, Phil. I see you at the door.
I can see myself this Friday. I go to put my card in the turnstiles and it's going to go declined, and then all of a sudden there'll be a light going on.
Yeah, there'll all be these blokes standing around saying,
I've had some run-ins.
Why don't you say, get out of here, mate? Why don't you go to Queensland?
I've had some run-ins before at the MCC, which one day I'll tell you about. Not necessarily my proudest hour at the MCC.
I know when you've had a few run-ins too. I know exactly what that means because I grew up with you with those sort of run-ins. But maybe we're just not tolerant anymore. I don't know.
Do you know what? Maybe Gary, maybe this more challenging market has brought out the impatientness in us.
Yeah, exactly right. Brought out the impatient agent.
If you think, viewers, we might be actually losing it.
Are we becoming grumpy old
real
estate agents?
Are we becoming cantankerous? I don't know.
Grumpy old agents.
I think we just decided in a quieter market when we haven't got as much to do, just call out other people's problems.
Exactly right. We've got everything okay. okay now because we're just going to whinge about everybody else's business.
Distract from our own problems.
Exactly. We're going to shame a restaurant next week. That's it. That's what we're going to do. Look, let's talk about the market. Let's talk about
just for the record, viewers, last week's episode from Queensland, we did run past the view.
The lawyers.
For the first time, we ran it past the lawyers.
They cut a bit out too.
And they did cut a bit out.
Exactly right. So if you want to serve notice,
not that we're proud of it,
we'll give you our lawyers' details. But you know what, Philip? I'm damn it. You know, I think we run a good business and we give people good service.
We do. I think so.
And you know, if we get it wrong, we come to the party because you don't get it right every time.
We fess up straight away.
We fess up. We deal with it. We own it. But I got to say to you that some of these other organisations. Anyway,
who are you having a crack at now?
Everybody. So I'm just broadening the whole thing. Everyone. We're grumpy real estate agents. The grumpy old agents have had a busy weekend. Let's talk about some of our results, Philip. Kilda Road.
Yes. The Kingston building, Kingston.
Yeah, they misspelled it.
That's not my building. We didn't build it.
Very nice, compliant result there, Phil.
But I love it, and a shout out to the vendors there who entrusted us with the sale there. They were very happy with the results. But we had a good result there, Gary, and it's a wonderful building.
$1,580,000, Philip, which is right in the middle. $5,000 off the middle of our range. So you can't be more compliant than that, Philip. We had a great auction in Rosstown Road, sold that for $475,000.
Shout out to the Carnegie team there.
Jack Slater. He's a young gun.
And how much do I love his name, Jack Slater?
Jack.
I like to say it. I like to say it at the sales meetings. I look at him and I go, "How are you today, Jack Slater?"
Yeah, it sounds like an action star.
I wish my name was Jack Slater.
Well, maybe you can
no one ever goes, "Phillip Kingston."
No, they don't.
Actually, my parents used to say that.
They usually, before they say Phillip, they usually have a few words before that, like
Jack. Jack Slater, he could be a movie star.
I know, he could be. I think maybe he will be, Philip. But at the moment, he's just a great real estate agent. 8 Griffiths Grove in Brighton East, Philip.
Oh, shout out to Daniel Fisher there. What a great listing and a good result. And we did have some funny, we had some funny run-ins with a young couple there that was sitting on the...
Is that right? Some shenanigans?
Sitting on the pavement where I talked about whether they'd just met. And then we started talking about...
Did they just meet?
We started talking about Tinder. And it was a very, very funny moment, I thought anyway.
Fair enough. Well, good that you've shared those private jokes with everyone now, Phil. Phil, I didn't think we'd ever sell anything in Lebanon, Lebanon Crescent, Mulgrave, that is, but we did, and we had a great result there.
And I must say, Gary, it was an experience auctioning out in Lebanon Crescent in Mulgrave. It was very, very different, I don't mind saying.
Hey, I want us to talk about a property that's not yet sold, but I actually spun out on Sunday. I've got to tell you this.
Spun out on Sunday?
I spun out on Sunday because I went to 11 Camden Street, and when we did the show last week, I said, oh, that looks a little bit like my aunt's.
Can I just interrupt you because I just had a thought. Stephen, if you're still watching, Stephen from Queensland, I just remembered I'm holding the pen you gave me, a lovely Mont Blanc pen that he gave me.
He'll want that back after what you've said about his fellow...
Sorry, anyway, you were talking about Camden Street.
So Camden Street, and I said last week, oh, that looks like my aunt's place, ha ha ha, in joke, right? I go to the auction and I get hit with this flood of memories and melancholy. Is it melancholy?
Melancholy, yeah. You got hit with the melancholy stick.
The melancholy stick just whacked me over there because indeed it was my aunt's house. And not only was it my aunt's house, but it hadn't changed.
Was that Truder or Greater?
That was good. No, Truder was a family friend. Greater was the aunt. Greater.
I got to tell you,
she's the one who invented driving.
I got to tell you, viewers, I have been friends with Gary since I was 12, and if you think about how old I am now, the reality is that's a number of decades. And I've got to say, I was privileged to meet just about all members of Gary's family.
That was like a lineup from the Sound of Music, wasn't it?
No, not the Sound of Music. It was like a lineup from the Marx Brothers, if you ask me.
But the names,
like the craziest, craziest
you had all these Austrian names like Friedel, Truder, Liesel, Greater. You did.
It was like no. What was the Sound of Music?
Farewell, auf Wiedersehen, good night. It was like that every day in my house. Anyway, Phil, 11 Camden Street. I walked in and it was my aunt's house, and I could not believe it.
The house that we were selling?
Yes, it was my aunt's house.
I didn't realise that.
Yeah, well, I mean, she's not living anymore. She'd been passed away like 20 years ago or something, but it was her house.
So it was Greater, not Trudel or Liesel.
No, not Trudel, Liesel, Friedel. It wasn't anybody.
Not anyone ending in L.
No, it wasn't anybody that was eating strudel. It was Greater. And Phil, I walked in.
Do you think they have these names because like Friedel, Liesel, Strudel?
Strudel's a food, it's not a name, Phil. But I walked in there.
We had a dog called Strudel.
No, you did. No, it's called Trudeau, but I nicknamed it Strudel. Strudel Peter. Trudel, Philip.
This is getting silly.
11 Camden Street. So I walk in anyway, and I start freaking out.
Yeah.
And I say to my cousin, I get on the phone, my cousin, I go, is this our aunt's house. And she says, I just remember going there with you sometimes for dinner and you drinking a little bit too much of the wine that was around, which was probably right. But she said, I think it's that house.
Yes.
So, of course, then I go to the vendor and I say hi to the vendor, and we're talking, and I say, look, this used to be my aunt's house. I grew up running around this house. And they said, well, we bought it 38 years ago. They bought it from
Strudel.
No, not Strudel, from Greater. So there you go, they bought it from Greater. And there were still original features in the house from 38 years ago.
She was crazy, Greater.
No, she was. She was delightful. She wasn't crazy.
She was delightfully crazy.
No, she wasn't even crazy. She was just delightful. She was lovely. She was a very quiet, lovely lady. Anyway, Philip, we didn't sell it. That's the bad news. And she said, they
took us a long time to get to the result.
They said, all I remember is when we bought it 38 years ago from this lady, and she would not move a cent on price. And I said, that sounds like...
that's the Peer family. Pretty much the Peer family.
Like Peer, all right. Anyway, let's talk about the auctions going this weekend. We babbled too long, Philip, with too much nonsense. We've got 19 auctions. We're not waiting for this weekend. We've got 19 auctions on 11 suburbs.
That's a massive weekend,
It's a massive, but we're not... No, it's not the weekend, Phil. It starts on Wednesday.
I understand
we're
that.
Going to
Cyril
Wednesday.
Street in Elwood,
Do you remember Graham Kennedy?
I do.
Cyril? Every time Blankety Blanks used to go, Cyril said, right, which was kind of, his allusion to somebody that was, that way inclined. And that was fun in those days, right, because it was lighthearted. And Graham Kennedy was that way inclined. It was all in good... Well, now, if we went on the television...
Well, ultimately, look what happened to him, Gary.
Well, what happened to him?
He died.
Okay, well, it happens to everybody. But anyway, it was blankety blanks. Cyril said, so Cyril Street, Elwood, Phil, let's talk about that. It's a block of 4 apartments, and they are outstanding.
Yes,
It goes up on Wednesday at 2 o'clock. So looking forward to this one. They've all been renovated. They've got 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. Upstairs, we've got their own little courtyards. And downstairs, Philip, upstairs we've got terrace balconies. Downstairs courtyards, they've all got parking. They've been renovated. It's
Viewers, if you're looking for a wonderful investment or you'd like to buy this apartment building, live in one, rent the others out, this is a great opportunity. Often it's very difficult to get a small block of 4.
In the fabulous 4, we call it,
yes.
Philip. Now on Thursday is another auction, Philip. It's in Blanche Street, in Kilda.
Yes.
That's very exciting. This is a very unique property, Phil. It's a duplex. Wonderful, wonderful property. A duplex property with 2 residences, upstairs and downstairs.
Yes.
But there's plans and permits to build another 3 out the back, Phil.
Lots of opportunity there, Gary.
Which is another wonderful feature there. That one goes up on Thursday, Philip, at 2:30 p.m. Phil, let's move on to Saturday. We start off at 10:30, double auction action. We're going to be in Castles Road in Bentleigh. And Phil, I'm fortunate enough to be the auctioneer, meeting up with Leon and the Bentleigh team. Don't we love them?
Gary, we do love the whole Bentleigh team. They are a magnificent team. This is terrific. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a double lock-up garage, which is unusual. Single level heaven, that one, Gary.
You can have a little sleep in, Phil, because your first auction is not until 11:30. But at 10:30,
I like the 11:30 start, Gary.
I know, and you're welcome to it, Philip. Let's kick it off in Victoria Street, Elsternwick, Raffy Joff and Jeremy Rose.
Victoria Street is a wonderful, wonderful position just off Glen Huntley Road. That's a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment that's been beautifully renovated throughout.
Great location.
That is a great location. That's good real estate, that apartment.
Couldn't agree with you more, Philip. 11:30 double auction action, and you are going to be starting us off, my friend, at 42 Almond Street in Caulfield South, meeting Darren Crongold and team.
Yes, Gary, that's a really good home on 518 square metres of land. 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, plenty of off-street car parking there.
Jeremy Rosens is a busy fellow on Saturday. Lots of auctions, doing more than any of us, I think. Philip's got 4.
So he should.
He's
young and
exactly vibrant,
and he's
virile.
Got a
is that right?
Wonderful physique.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to Glen Huntley Road. We've done him to death, haven't we?
1177 Glen Huntley Road, Glen Huntley, Gary. Live as part of the shopping centre Groove there. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 car space. That is a rip snorter.
Guess what happens on Saturday at 12:30, Philip?
Tell me, Gary.
Nothing, because we don't have any auction, but we've got 3 at 1:30. Count them. Triple auction action.
Triple auction action.
We're starting off in Hammerdale Avenue, Philip.
Gary, I love that address of Hammerdale Avenue. Hammerdale Avenue, viewers, connects Alma Road to Inkerman. It's a really good spot. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, triple car parking, including a double garage, but that is a wonderful, wonderful maisonette.
I actually don't think Hammerdale goes all the way through, Philip. It goes, and then there's a fork,
and
one side is Javois, and the other side is Young Street.
It does the connection. I think you're now just becoming too... you're like a little Boy Scout, aren't you?
I won't let you misrepresent...
like a little Boy Scout with your little compass and your barter shoes.
And my woggle.
Yeah.
The woggle. Yeah, but look, I'm not going to let you run our company down. It's one thing to dress poor, it's another thing to make misrepresentation. So Hammerdale Hammerdale Avenue, great address, Phil.
Yes, thank you.
Let's move on.
Yes.
New Street.
Yes, Gary.
Jeremy Rosen's again.
He is. He's a busy boy. One bedroom, one bathroom, one car space. That is a cracker of an apartment with a courtyard garden. What's not to love about that property,
back
Gary?
in Queen's Road, you can't get us out of Queen's Road, Phil.
No.
It's not just the conduit between Melbourne, between our suburbs and the city.
The conduit.
Conduit, yeah, the conduit route.
It's not a reeking conduit.
It's not a reeking, it's a fine conduit. But certainly, Philip, we are going to be.
We do love it. We do love it, Gary. This is a terrific apartment. It's got everything you want there and more. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 car space. Looks like it's been brilliantly renovated too.
Simon Radolnik is the auctioneer. He does a great job meeting Viv Samuel there. Philip, we've got double auction action at 2:30. We're going to be in Hughenden Road in St Kilda East meeting
Gary,
Jeremy
I
Rosens.
love Hughenden Road because it really just has everything on its doorstep, including the trams and Dandenong Road, the wonderful Alma Village, a little park. It's got everything there. This is great real estate, a fully renovated apartment, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 car space. There's lots to love there, Gary.
Cafe and you've got the supermarket now.
Yes, you do, Gary. Yes,
new supermarket.
Yes. I think everybody knows that.
15A Raynes Street, Philip. That wraps up Saturday, and I know this property, and it's a beautiful one.
Gary, I sold the other half there a number of years ago, and the builders there did a beautiful job. 4 bedrooms, 3 stunning bathrooms, and plenty of car parking. We've got a garage and car space in front. That is a fabulous 2-storey town residence.
Brings the hammer down on Saturday, Philip. On Sunday, we have double auction action at 10:30 a.m. We're going to be in Hillside Avenue, Caulfield.
Yes, Gary. Who's got that? The auction
You're the
honours?
auction-
I've got that, which
yeah,
is
there,
great.
yeah.
I love that address. 3 or 4 bedrooms, 1.5 bathrooms, plenty of car parking, polished timber floorboards. That's a house you can easily fall in love with. And it's on 637 square metres of the primest of Caulfield land.
Very nice, just across the road from my joint, Phil. Good position
Your
there. I'd
joint.
like to think, yeah.
Your
My
joint, Gary.
My joint, yeah.
What do we think about Elon Musk smoking marijuana as part of a podcast that he filmed? Do you have an opinion?
Well, in America, they're very modern about those things, Philip.
Yep.
I mean, in Vegas, I was smelling marijuana when I was there, and people are smoking in the streets.
I heard somebody say something interesting about marijuana the other day, and it never worked for me, I've got to tell you. I didn't like it personally, but they were talking about how they should legalise it because of the problems. Well, it takes out, but no, the problems that we have with alcohol. Alcohol is a scourge on society, causes massive social unrest, and it causes, hang on, let me finish the story, it causes massive violence. And they were comparing that with what happens with 10 high testosterone males get around and smoke a joint together. The net result of that is they either all fall asleep or go out and have something to eat and get in touch with their feminine side.
Not good for your weight, is it?
Well, no, my point being is that it's actually a drug of peace as opposed to alcohol being a drug of violence. Viewers, if you've got an opinion, let us know, because that's pretty contentious.
So you're saying we're going to share our vices. So you're saying, well, let's move people from being drunk to being stoned. Is that what you're saying?
If you've got a choice, would you rather be in a crowd of drunken men or a crowd of stoned men?
Can I take drunken women as an option?
No, because women generally aren't as violent as men.
No, okay.
So seriously, what would you take?
I'd probably take neither, Philip, because I'm really not very favourable for either, and I'm a bit old-fashioned that way. And I've got to say, I think marijuana is a gateway drug, and I think it's a dangerous drug. That's what I'm saying.
Based on absolutely no reading whatsoever. Like you watched Fox News.
No, I didn't. I watched the racing show as well. Read the form guide. I read lots of things, Phil. That's not true. Let's move on to Lansdowne Road, because we're going nowhere here. I'm going to be doing Lansdowne Road at 10:30, Philip. I'm looking forward to it. It's a great apartment, this one.
I think we're going to call this this episode, is GPTV a gateway drug?
A gateway drug episode. Your gateway to drugs and alcohol and abuse.
Okay, tell us about Lansdowne Road.
Yeah, well, it's going up at 10:30. You've got the brochure in your hand.
Okay, so 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 car space. Love that location. Terrific location. That's a great entry into the market.
11:30, thank you, has been dedicated to just one auction across our company, Philip, and we're both going to be here.
Yes.
And I've got to tell you, I'm so excited, because we are in one of the finest homes we've had the pleasure of offering. We are right here, right now, in this beautiful
we are
area.
sitting in the alfresco area of Moore Street, of number 14 Moore Street. And as I came into the Kitchen Meals family room, I was blown away firstly by that room. But this alfresco area, I think, is one of the nicest alfresco areas we've ever had the opportunity to sit in. This is the most amazing family home, Gary. 4 or 5 bedrooms, 3.5 gleaming bathrooms, double lock-up garage, of course, as you would expect. One of my favourite features of the home, Gary, that home theatre.
Yes.
Why would you ever go out if you owned this home?
This is a sensational home, Phillip. It's very, very modern, very new, and very edgy. It's beautifully built, very spacious. We're excited about this one. Come and have a look at it. Yeah,
it's reeking of edginess, Gary.
It's reeking edge. It is a beautiful home.
It is a fabulous
and
house.
We're excited about it. 11:30 Sunday. Be here and come and see the show, have a coffee, and hopefully buy a new magnificent home.
Gary, the interesting thing about our Sunday is we move from Moore Street, which is one magnificent home, which we would describe as cutting edge and modern, but we move on from there to 116 Bambra Road, which is just the most magnificent house as well. How lucky are we? But that's the quintessential magnificent period home. So we're going from one contemporary
magnificent masterpiece.
Yes.
To a beautiful period.
Yes,
home.
go on.
Yeah.
Go on.
No, go on.
That's it. That's it. Anyway, how lucky are we? That'll be a great Sunday. That is a beautiful home at Moore Street, but a beautiful home at Bambra Road as well.
Crotonhurst Avenue, Phillip.
Yes.
111, a great little opportunity. When I say little opportunity, I mean affordable opportunity.
Yes.
To get into the market.
2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 car space, Gary, with a courtyard garden. Lots to love there, and we love Crotonhurst because Crotonhurst is the connector, of course, from Hawthorne Road through to Kooyong Road.
Well, you know, now that you say that, you have to actually just have a little bit of Rosemont Avenue on the way through. You're just going to go to Rosemont Avenue just a bit, so you don't miss. I'm always cleaning up his misrepresentations and mess.
Just for the purposes of the show, just go with it.
No? I won't allow you to misrepresent things, Phillip.
No, you won't.
1:30, we're going to be just across the road from Crotonhurst, Phil, in Hume. Well, it's not just across the road, but it's almost exactly across the road. We're going to be at 13 Hume Road. Is there a better address?
Gary, there is only one better address than Hume Road, and that would be Lamere Road, but this property is on the corner of Hume and Lamere. So,
bases are covered.
So high fives there. Yep. Congratulations to the vendor that has entrusted DDB Design, which is one of the foremost building companies in Melbourne, to produce 2 apartments. This is the ground floor apartment, Gary, 3 bedrooms, 2.5 magnificent bathrooms, a double lock-up garage. That is luxury living in apartments at its best.
Now, Phillip, I'm not sure if this will actually go to auction or not, because there's rumblings about it being finished, silent and done before the auction. That's 46 Otira Road. This is an absolute palatial mansion, Phillip. It's going up at 2:30 p.m. and we're looking forward to it.
Now, there's a rumour going around, Gary, that it might be sold.
Right.
It may well be sold.
That's another misrepresentation.
If there is that,
if that
rumour turns out to be correct, the rumour also is that we've sold it to the most lovely family from offshore.
Yes, we have.
So stay tuned, viewers, as we lift the lid on that sale next week, assuming the rumour is correct that it's sold.
Breaking news maybe next week. Phillip, we finish off in 8 Ward Avenue. Now, that is a great address. This is a wonderful home. We have a smorgasbord of fine offerings this week. How lucky are we?
We are blessed, Gary. We're blessed. We're blessed.
Yeah.
You're blessed to have me as your partner. 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, a double lock-up garage. This architect designed property in Ward Avenue, Gary, was commissioned by the owners of the property, who are still living there. They got architect Selwyn Blackstone to fulfil all of their dreams, and the architect there did the most incredible job. And that is a beautiful home with a north-facing garden, Gary, which feels like it's Port Douglas.
And as Len Bricker, who's handling the sale, would say, I can't believe it. What a beautiful home. Anyway, Phillip, that's my South African imitation for the week, and that's a big wrap on GPTV.
You do a great South African imitation.
We're not bad. But
much to the chagrin, Gary, of our South African clients.
Yes, they don't like me at all. That's not true. They are wonderful clients, and we value them very much. We just like to, have a bit of fun.
You just like to have a crack at them.
No, no, that's not true. That reeks of disrespect, that comment. That is a big wrap on GPTV for September the 11th. And for all of our Jewish clients, Happy New Year. It is the Jewish New Year now.
Shana Tova.
Happy New Year to you all. And we look forward to bringing you all the news next week, next Tuesday, which will be the 18th, Phillip. Another significant day in the calendar. Anyway, that's what's going on in the real estate world. I'm Gary Peer.
I'm Phillip Kingston. Have a fantastic week.